My name's Kate White, and I am a 2-time brain cancer survivor. I had put 2 contacts in one eye. I was driving erratically. I just was not myself. I got to work and I was so sick. I thought, I'm never going to make it through the day. And I happened to text a friend of mine who was working in another building. She came over immediately, drove me home. Next thing I knew, Rick was there, called an ambulance, and that was my last memory.
They'd put her in a dark room, they'd diagnosed her with migraines, and she just was not the Katie that I know. I spoke to the nurse and said, listen, I know that you get people in here all the time complaining of headaches, but something's wrong. She had talked to the doctor and talked him into getting a CAT scan done.
While we were waiting, my mom actually had gone unconscious. It was a lot of unknowns, and we didn't know if she was going to wake up again, what was causing it.
We got the CAT scan back and were shocked. As soon as we found out that it was a brain tumor, I knew that I wanted her to get the best care possible, and she was at a smaller local hospital where she was obviously going to need brain surgery, and she could have stayed there, but they helped me get her to Henry Ford.
Pretty quickly after that, the diagnosis and unfortunate prognosis came out from the doctors.
And then they told us this is not a meningioma, this is a glioblastoma. Lucky for her, she did wake up the next morning. Katie didn't have any neurological signs, but like weakness or numbness or tingling in your limbs, vision changes. I think those are all big signs that you need to be seen by a doctor right away.
I was there, I think, a week and a half before they could do the surgery because the swelling was so bad. They came to me before my surgery and they said that they had this relatively new treatment where I could drink this solution, and the doctors described it as the difference between doing surgery in the dark and doing surgery with lights on.
So traditionally we'll use, overhead lights or maybe a headlight. Sometimes we'll use a white light with a microscope. And having the option to use this blue light, which excites, this particular fluorophore, things just glow pink, and we can tell where there are areas of aggressive tumor. And then there are additional imaging agents or optical imaging agents during surgery that are under study. The reality is that these tumors are very challenging, these high-grade malignancies in the brain. So especially in our center, we often operate again because they can recur.
Once I got through the initial surgery and I was healing, I knew right from the get-go that I wanted to get my life back as quickly as I could.
She met with me and my team. We assembled the best possible resources to support her life and getting back on her feet, as well as a treatment plan. So when they're meeting with me, I'm usually talking about the diagnosis, what that means, how that impacts their life, what resources are available to them, what resources are available in the community for them, what treatment paths are available, and often talking about clinical trials. The treatment plan for most people with a glioblastoma is radiation Monday through Friday over about 6 weeks, often with a chemotherapy pill that's taken every day. After that 6 weeks of intensive treatment, we check another MRI scan and we regroup, and usually we go back on that chemotherapy for 5 days out of a month, essentially, for 6 to 12 months.
And then they just go into sort of surveillance mode where they just monitor how you're doing and hoping that they don't come back, they being the tumors.
At the time of her diagnosis, the average survival was around 16 months, so less than 2 years. She was thriving in life and doing great, and we were trying to keep it that way.
After my initial diagnosis, I was healthy as can be, living life, doing yoga, working full-time, doing all of my normal activities for about 3.5 years. I knew at any moment this could return. I just was a mess at work again, so I went and got a CAT scan and an MRI, and sure enough, it had returned.
When she recurred, I was not shocked, unfortunately, but I was saddened. But luckily, it was in an area that was still resectable. If I remember correctly, the first surgery, I think we did awake so that we could verify exactly where things were when we were mapping. But after that first surgery, having the benefit in retrospect of that data and that experience, we felt more comfortable doing a sleep mapping procedure the second time. And so she was doing so well that we wanted to take the opportunity to keep her on that trajectory.
It wasn't long after that she was doing fundraisers at her local ice cream shop and in the community to raise funds for others faced with a brain tumor. It's been many years now that I've known Kate, and she's promoted advocacy for brain tumors and the community and building that network all along. She's really quite inspirational.
this isn't always comfortable for me to be in this role, but when I know it's helping other people, this is why I do it. So even though I feel, nervous and I get really stressed, I know I'm doing this for a greater purpose. And I'm doing this because hopefully my voice, my words is giving somebody else hope, optimism, whatever they need that day. Anytime I could get around people that had been through what I had been through, I know how powerful that was for me. I keep using the word paying it forward, but that's how it really feels, is just giving back to this community that has helped me so much.